your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School, brought to you by Sandhills Global. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I'm in pain.
Welcome to Old School, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Happy second day of the NFL draft.
It
everybody.
hurts. Everything hurts.
DP is in pain. DP doesn't know pain.
Jay.
DP doesn't know pain.
Jay, help. The DMV is in tears today. You know what? It's not even raining in Nebraska. It's what's happening outside in the weather. Those are the tears of Washington fans that have made their way to Nebraska.
You don't understand.
I hate to be a bearer of bad news, but the draft is going to continue tonight.
I know, and I'm so frightened about.
Hey, at least after they
Shut
called
up,
Jahan
Rico.
Dotson's name, the paneling crew was like, "Oh yeah, I like this pick," or they were able to show highlights. When New England picked, I think his name is Cameron Strange, the guard out of Chattanooga, there was silence, and you heard one of the people on the panelist crew just go, "Huh."
I made the joke in the break that they had to call his mom to get a picture of him to show.
They didn't show any highlights.
Like
they
the
were
university didn't even have it ready for him.
They were talking about how he was kicking tail when they faced Kentucky and how he was doing pretty good down at the Senior Bowl. Didn't have any of the film. Didn't have any of it. They just put a picture of him up.
He did have a, the thing is that's crazy is it's a good thing, but it's also alarming, right? And this is nothing against smaller school kids because, look, I think the parity of college football has kind of, it's trickled down players that maybe would be at said university and wait 3 years to play. Now they're going to these smaller schools and playing, but you got to think, you got a guy from University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, who one of my best friends just left that job 2 years ago to coach a prep school in North Carolina, Sean Bryson. And then you had another guy from Northern Iowa, and then you got another guy from Central Michigan, right? Mm-hmm. So the alarming part is this. All these Power 5 schools, whether it's Ohio State, Nebraska, all these Power 5 schools, right? 3 guys from Tennessee, Chattanooga is, to me, in my opinion, lower than Central Michigan and Northern Iowa.
Oh, no, they are.
Okay. Like, as far as, brand power and players.
Well, Central Michigan at least plays in the FCS. The other two are
Well, it's
FBS.
not that. You've had more players get drafted from those 2 schools,
yes,
recently. But where's all the Florida State linemen? Where's the Florida linemen? Where's the, Where's the Miami linemen? You got 3 dudes going in the first round.
Auburn, there are a lot of programs that had to answer questions yesterday.
Oh, we might have an offensive line meetings.
Like, how's this dude here? How's this happen? How's this happen?
How does that happen after every draft where coaches at some schools get together and they're like, all right, how did we miss on this? How did we miss on this guy?
Not really. You got to kind of move on, and it's all about schemes too. You got to think that I'm assuming that Strange probably was a little underweight coming out of high school. You know what I mean? Probably got bigger. Probably was a really good athlete and kind of grew into it. Mm-hmm. And then when you're playing at that level, you dominate, and then if you can turn it on for a week and show promise, you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like that new car syndrome. Like, you got your old reliable here that you've seen every single day, and you're trying to find things wrong with it when nothing's really wrong with it. But then here comes something shiny and new, or you think is new, that doesn't have any problems. So you're going to kind of lean over there and not, appreciate what you're seeing. Because they've probably seen a lot of guys before, and they're like, I'm telling you, scouts are like, they'll give you actually more leeway as a player from those type of universities versus a guy that's already like at a bigger university. They'll kind of look for like when say Jay Foreman comes down there, offensive tackle from Nebraska, 3-year starter, all say second team Big Ten, all Big Ten or whatever. They've already tried to punch holes in my game, right? But they seem to forget that I went against Aiden Hutchinson and all these other guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is going to be a little bit of holes. And then here's the same other guy from like another, a smaller school that, shows up at the Senior Bowl, less wear and tear, X, Y, and Z, not a lot of tape.
Yeah.
So they're giving him leeway, like, oh, okay, well, he hasn't played the type of competition that the other guys. Well, that should be part of evaluation. It shouldn't be a knock on me. Then I played against better players and maybe getting beat a little bit more versus a guy that's not. So it'd be interesting to see where these guys can, what they end up. But I think you've seen a lot of offensive linemen have long and great careers from small schools. I think it's just a little bit of chance, scheme, and what teams are looking for. I think with that strange pick, when you look at him,
it's a very strange pick. Yes,
New England's looking for a tone setter, right? When you think of the guy that New Orleans drafted, right? Tone setter. That's how these guys got on the map. They were, finishing plays, a little bit to the echo of the whistle. So they're trying to infuse that type of personality in that play into the offensive line, which is, good on them.
So I looked up Cole Strange, his recruiting profile, and then him at Chattanooga. He was a defensive end coming out of high school. 6'4", 250. Finished his career as a guard, 6'6", 301 for Chattanooga.
Okay, so he put on 50 pounds and grew 2 inches. That's not a miss because you just couldn't see it. You couldn't see it. You're not calling up
that's
doctor.
Different.
Hey, can you tell me about his growth plates? I mean, you know what I mean? Is he going to gain 50 pounds?
You mean that's not part of recruiting?
Yeah,
you're not going to a doctor.
Yeah.
You're not going
but some of what happens at this, some of this could be academics, right? That somebody's just not ready to handle the physical and academic workload of being at a Michigan, Alabama, etc.
Maybe, but I think with that kid, 6'4", 250, and I don't know where he's originally from, but you're
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah, so you're in Knoxville. I mean, you're being compared to real dudes in that area, so that knocks you down. You know what I'm saying? And then
I would ask Tennessee and Memphis, what up?
He was according to 24/7, he was a 2-star, the 800th ranked player.
Right, and then sometimes, and again,
he was a defensive end.
There's no way to measure heart and measure the type of IQ that somebody could have where he deciphers defenses and pass rushes at a higher level than the guy who's guy, the wildebeest on the side.
Being ranked a 2-star defensive end versus walking into Tennessee, Chattanooga, and saying we just need players, and he put on 20 pounds. Okay, then you go to an offensive line. Okay. Whereas like these bigger schools, they don't have to have position flexibility when they're looking at a kid because they got 5 other kids that are in that position, and it's laziness on their part to not do so, right?
Well, the kids also know that there's depth. So you look at it and you go, look, there's 5 dudes just like me who are ahead of me.
But yeah, Tennessee's not recruiting him as a 2-star defensive end. No. So then that's knocking down his national prowess and everything like that. So that's how you fall to places like that.
I'm
gonna still be upset.
Like again, they're all smarter than I am. So
I mean, if he ends up being good, you're not.
I'm gonna be happy. No, I'm not gonna be upset.
No, they're all like they're all smarter.
But
than I am. I'm not. I will listen to Jay and he'll go, okay, that's a good pick. Okay, cool. I think
he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay. I mean, it's.
And there's some of Jay, safety who comes in and becomes a linebacker. Jay knows the bridge between what has to happen.
I would have rather played at safety. I just wouldn't have had to work so hard.
Right.
That's not it. I'm just saying for his skill set, what they do in New England, where they're trying to run you off the ball and get physical.
Yeah.
He's a first-round pick to them, and they're fine with it. You know what I mean?
They were talking about they might move him to center. He tried out center at the Senior Bowl and was struggling with the snaps, but they were saying.
And Andrews has been injury prone and he's an all-pro. So I mean, they
traded away their proven guard Tampa Bay.
I'm sad again because ESPN just posted a picture of Chris Olave holding up a Saints jersey.
The Saints love Ohio State wide receivers.
So stupid.
They do.
Look at that. He looks good.
I like Jahan Dotson. Am I
too.
wrong for that?
I like him. He reminds me of Gary Clark. I get all that, right? But it was the difference. You could have had Arthur Monk. Like that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Was you could
you could have got a lot of it. You could
you
have done some more.
right?
Like you could.
The same things you do with Dotson, you could do with Olave. You can move him around. You can get him in the slot where you can't get hands on. You can run him opposite of Terry. You can put him on the same side as Scary Terry. There's several things you could have done, and it made perfect sense, and I get it. But you would have had 3 Ohio State receivers with Samuel, and I would have been thrilled.
Or they could have.
Maybe they just didn't want 3 Ohio State receivers.
Or they could have traded down, or could have just drafted somebody else and get. I mean, there's still a ton of receivers out there.
Oh, yeah.
You got to think like
this draft is stacked with receivers.
Yeah, so I mean, you got guys that you could get in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, but
you'll be fine.
No, they won't.
I mean, their season's going to hinge on if they can replace Brandon Sheriff, who was all Pro Bowl guard.
Moses is gone. Sheriff was gone.
So the offensive line and Carson Wentz.
Like you couldn't recognize Washington's offensive line if they walked in the door. Right
you want Cole Strange? I'll take Jahan Dotson.
Listen, you know what? I take him because he's a center, and they need somebody.
He's not a center yet. He still needs work.
Look, I don't. So do the guys that play for Washington.
Right.
Literally every lineman for Washington needs more work.
If Bill Belichick drafts a skill position player in the 1st round, they will not work in New England. That's just how it works.
If the Commanders had normal drafting prowess, I would look for Cam Jurgens to Washington. But I know a team.
It made
that
too much
really,
sense.
Really
that's 98. Carolina loves Cam Jurgens. They love him. The Saints love JoJo. Like we know there's certain places where
New England would be perfect for JoJo.
I don't know that would be like I get some of that.
Bill Belichick would love
I get
to do what?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They lost all their linebackers.
I'm not sure I'll go that far and say that. I'm there. No, Belichick. He has a certain type of dude.
Defense, do you know that?
Rico,
you know their defense was like one of the best in the league last year.
Yeah, I do. Okay. And they lost 3 of their linebackers.
Right, but you know they have the guys behind. Did you not watch the games and see
the guys behind? I did watch the games.
They play 7 linebackers. So 7 minus 3 is what? 4. They play a 4-3. So that means they have 3 guys, and plus
more linebackers.
Yeah. New England's going to play D.
Well, yeah, of course.
It's going to be a fun game.
If they draft a defensive player, it'll work. It's fine.
Well, there's a guy they might like from Minnesota State, and there's another one from Minnesota Duluth. No,
there's a guy from hey Jay, you go. There's a guy from Meatloaf State.
Minnesota, Minnesota Mankato, not Minnesota State.
When they start showing highlights from like this is his high school tape, that's when you know it's bad.
Right, let's just go. There's a guy from Meatloaf State that will play well.
They still mad at Bill Belichick for drafting that safety in the 2nd round from Lenore Ryan,
and don't know where
nobody knows where he's at.
Like, dude,
I mean, he's on the roster still.
Yeah. He made some spot starts.
Yeah,
he did pretty good.
Yeah, he actually can hit though. Yeah.
Y'all, wow.
He struggled a little bit in coverage, but he can hit.
But a high 2nd round pick that you traded way up.
That was so weird.
6'2", 225
the video
safety.
Was so grainy.
Well, Lenore Ryan is like right outside by Charlotte.
Yeah.
I mean,
video
it's like
was so grainy.
Lenore
everybody
Ryan
else's was like HD 4K, and his was like on a flip phone.
Like you couldn't even find Lenore Ryan football shirts.
Hey, listen here. Gretna Westside has more people at their game than Lenore Ryan.
And those are dudes who just got finished hunting Saturday morning.
Right.
And Bill Belichick was like,
yes, exactly.
Bill Belichick was like, yes.
Hey, they went pheasant hunting at like 5.
They went straight to Catawba Springs.
Yep.
That's another one of those where the Rams coaches are laughing. Saying,
and they went fishing on the Catawba River.
Right.
We got some catfish.
Oh man, let's go watch Lenore Ryan.
This is fish guts on my hair. There's not any blood.
Hey, on my. Let's go watch some football.
Bill Belichick doesn't watch Power 5 football.
Yeah, he does.
He watches it. No, he watches Rutgers.
No.
He loves Rutgers.
Let's go to break. Rico, tell me what's up.
I don't know anymore.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo Promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities that we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say hello. So, don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour or more to campus. By taking online classes and those at a learning center, you can earn your degree from SCC where and when it's convenient for you, all at a cost that won't stand in the way of your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual sprayer clinic at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney, Nebraska, February 2nd and 3rd. Landmark Sprayer Clinic offers expansive equipment and technology training on different models of John Deere and Hagie sprayers. Learn about the newest technology, machine maintenance, spray tip selection, and more. We'll be offering free dicamba certification. Join us February 2nd and 3rd in Kearney. RSVP by calling your local Landmark location or at landmarkimp.com/events.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
If your home water doesn't taste right, look right, or smell right, just call Bryant for the solution to your water problem. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's been a great start here to the year as 2022 new inventory continues to roll in. Our pre-owned lot remains full, and we are selling at a record pace. I was just down at Koppel talking about a new order for myself, and they let me know I can actually start ordering a 2023 here later this spring. So stop on in to get your new 2022, your pre-owned vehicle, or maybe talk about ordering here for 2023. Check them out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Storage Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 Highway 6 in Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers Great Plains Regional Auction on June 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Another packed spring sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Stop by for great deals as April's beers of the month are Deschutes Fresh Squeeze IPA, Wild Onion Ubi Goober Hazy Peach IPA, and Belching Beaver Brewing. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch growler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gerard Mayo.
Gerard Mayo.
Gerard Mayo.
Yes.
That's
He had to
what he's
retire early because of
Yeah.
injuries.
Yeah, and that's what Nakobe Dino ended up being like.
I love Gerard Mayo.
Yeah.
He was so good. Welcome back to Old School. Yeah, we're still talking NFL draft. Did the Bills have a first-round pick? I don't mean that
They
as
were
a slight.
trading. They were trading, and I know they drafted somebody probably.
I don't know. They'll be good.
I was shook ever since Houston drafted Stingley at number 3, which
That
he's
was a
still he's
surprise.
the 1 or 2 corner, but you have a chance to get Sauce Gardner. You have a chance to get Neal. You have the pick of the land.
Why do you even want Sauce Gardner? He can't even find his way to the stage.
Go right. Go left. Go left. My left or your left?
He was holding so many.
I'm a detail guy, Coach. I need to know.
Come on.
Go left. Mine or yours? Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Buffalo draft Elam, corner from Florida.
Kyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a long lineage of Elams that have done well, but he's a big corner though. I mean, when you're
6'4",
6'3" corner, 191, so that's position flexibility.
Whew. Can I, before you get to your WhatsApp, I
Yeah,
just
go
want to read this thing, which lets me further know. Kyle Hamilton worked to build one of the strongest NIL brands in all of college sports. While at Notre Dame, he launched a podcast, a clothing line, memorabilia, youth camp, merch store, trading card deal. And last week, before the draft, he was able to buy his mom a Tesla.
Dang.
Good for him.
And Washington
didn't want him.
Didn't take him.
Hard
Good
pass
for him.
Outside the rain is my tears. Just saying that again.
You'll be okay.
Just saying that again.
Maybe.
So, Rico, what's up, man?
Woke up this morning and I got out of bed. Had a big old cup of coffee to clear my head. Telephone rang and you wanna chat? Well, sit on down and tell me what up with that. Ooh-wee. What up with that? What up with that? Ooh-wee. What up with that?
Be all last night.
What up with that? He said, she said, we said, me said, what up with that? Who knew, you knew, said what, who do, what up with that? What up
Finish strong.
with that?
Yes.
That's what I was saying all night. What up with that, Washington?
Hey, I texted DP when they traded down.
Man.
He didn't even respond for like 40 minutes.
Man,
I just tweeted at him after Derek Stingley went third, and I was like, "There you go. Now you don't have to worry about Washington taking Stingley."
Staring into the abyss.
I'm just like,
Plus, this is what's up. So, I went to see Reagan, who does a show here. She was singing last night, and it's in walking distance. So I'm walking home, and then the storm hits before I can get home.
Oh.
So I just sprinted to Brewski's and sat on the patio, and then watched the draft pick, and I was like, perfect.
And you walked home in the rain.
It was like
he fell to his knees in the rain.
You just walked home. You didn't even. You said, you know what? It's just raining on me anyways. Just make it all.
I didn't even run. Like I didn't even run. I was like, okay,
head down, just slumped, just like, man.
Hello.
Just sad.
What up, Rico?
Really, it's what I just keep saying is I don't understand how Nakobe Dean didn't get drafted. According to this, he is the number 1 ranked linebacker, number 19 overall. He has a 91 grade, and everybody in the first round was like, you know what? The leader of that Georgia defense?
Hey,
nah.
Like I would have.
Let's talk ourselves out of drafting a really, really good 10-year player, and let's draft a guy that it has a lot more, like I guess, so-called potential. But
do you think Dean could play behind that Washington defensive front?
He can play anywhere,
right?
Yeah.
You plug him anywhere,
right? Like
you draft Dean at 16.
You think
you're not? It's not the same conversation,
right?
DP's not coming here because he's saying, you know what? I see why, but Washington has a really good young linebacker, so and that's probably why.
Well, give him another. You're
I
good.
was just about to say that because Dean actually, with his playmaking ability, gives you position flexibility, and it gives you actually the ability to do more on defense because of his football intelligence. So just because he's maybe a little slight of height and supposedly a little bit slow, when you see him play,
he doesn't play slow.
Hey, he be hawking cats down. And that's the thing that people, I think sometimes with these GMs and stuff, I think there's some guys you need to watch the film that makes that say somebody really test out well. I got to see if you play that well, because you can't be like a corner and run a 4-3, but you can't, you always getting beat on a stop and go or the third string receiver from Idaho State is behind you 3 times in a game.
He's actually third round selection in New England, probably.
Right. So you gotta like look at that. But I think sometimes when you have a guy that doesn't supposedly meet the measurables, they bypassed it. They focus on the measurables and was like, well, how is this dude so good? How is he so good? How is he so dominant against Alabama and all these teams? But let's bypass the tape, because that was just luck, right?
Oh, he's 5'11"? Nah.
Right. Well, they'll start making excuses. Well, he had Davis in front of him. Well, he had this. Well, what's he going to play? So essentially what you might be saying is, well, he played with good players in Georgia. We're just going to make him play against a bunch of crappy players when we're here at the Commanders.
I don't know.
Get us out of here. Reed.
Doesn't make any sense. Old School second hour coming up next.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Early break with Sip and Jake.
Yeah, we're joined by Yoshi Hardrick, former Nebraska offensive lineman, currently a Winnipeg Blue Bomber of the CFL, 2-time champion. What was it like going from the Big 12 to the Big 10 one year to the next?
Well, my first defensive end was 280 to 300 pounds. And every team we played had 2 tight ends in. I was like, we're about to play some football.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Husker fans, continue to support the Nebraska softball team during Fan Appreciation Weekend, May 6th through the 8th. The team hosts Indiana in a 3-game series with giveaways each day. On Friday, the first 500 fans receive a water bottle. Come out Saturday and be one of the first 500 fans to receive a blanket. And on Sunday, if you're one of the first 500 fans, you'll get a pint glass. Saturday's game is also Senior Day and is free admission for everyone. For more information, visit Huskers.com. Get your single game tickets now at Huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
For our Friday, it'll be mostly cloudy with a high near 71 degrees. We'll have breezy winds coming from the southeast at about 11 to 20 miles an hour with gusts as high as 30. Later tonight, we'll have showers and thunderstorms. The storms can produce heavy rainfall, a low around 49 with southeast wind up to 9 to 17 miles an hour. New rainfall amounts between 1/2 and 3/4 of an inch possible. I'm Harrison Arns with 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Storage Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 Highway 6 in Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers Great Plains Regional Auction on June 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
Tune in every Monday morning throughout the summer at 6:45 a.m. for golf course reviews on the Nebraska Golf Passport Early Break Golf Tour with Jake Sorensen and Steve Sipple on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School. Brought to you by Sandhills Global. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hour number 2. Old School on NFL Draft Day number 2. We should see some Huskers cross the stage today. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think that one. I think Cam Jurgens will get drafted today. I guess nothing for sure, but that's what it sounds like.
402-464-5685. Starter Hammond text line, Honda Lincoln hotline. Give us your thoughts on the Huskers. Where do you think Huskers will go? Which ones will go? Where will they go? I think it's a big day because it could add some offseason juice to the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I mean it's
necessary.
It's nothing but good. It'll be a good weekend for Nebraska to get 3 or more guys drafted, a lot of guys signed, priority free agents. Then that not only gives you credibility and kind of like what you say you've been doing, developing players, and then also it's going to ideally inspire the guys on the team, saying, "Hey, these are guys that just in your locker room just 4 or 5 months ago, guys you've seen work. So what we're doing does work. If you have aspirations to go to the next level, now you can also add on to that. Like, look, some of you guys have played against said player. What do you think about him? Here's what we think, and this is the way he played against us. What's the difference between him and you or us and them? Well, they've won a few more games. So yes, it's great to celebrate the NFL and all that other stuff, and these guys making it, and that's a goal. But winning is tied to that. Playing good football is tied to that, because that's where you see a lot of guys, going off draft boards or There's not a lot of NFL teams that don't want to draft winners, because whether you're a winner in college and know what it takes to win, you'll fit into a winning organization. Or if you're a winner, they want to bring you into their building because they want you to help create a culture of winning. So when you win, everybody gets more. I mean, when you got the number 1 pick in the draft that wasn't all conference or an All-American, it lets you know 2 things. One, he's a freak of an athlete, but number 2, what you put on tape besides the stats are just as important. You get what I'm saying? It's not all stats. Oh, I need to have this amount of sacks or this amount of tackles, X, Y, and Z. If you're playing good football and you're on a good team surrounded by good players, you're gonna get drafted. And in this young guy's case, that he went number 1.
I was trying to pay attention to matching talent to system. but it didn't seem like that was necessarily what was happening last night.
A lot of times people take the best guy on the board. I mean, if you're the Giants or the Jets, they had a phenomenal draft. I mean, they got the pass rusher they need, and they got probably, in my opinion, the best offensive tackle. Both huge position needs. Look at the Jets.
Perfect needs, right?
Right. You got, the number one receiver, and you fell into one of the top three and probably the most polished pass rusher out there. I guess Aiden Hutchinson is probably the most polished, but this guy is right there with him. Johnson. So sometimes that can throw your board off, but it's a good throw off.
Normally, in the past, you took the guy. There are certain positions if there was a super talent
that you just
above 90 grade at any of these positions that you have to take.
Yeah, you got to take. Yeah.
Right. So that used to be quarterback, and the NFL cyclical. It evolves and then re-evolves, and it's not quarterbacks currently where.
No.
If they're that dude, if you're Mahomes and you have an Alex Smith, you still take Mahomes. That still didn't happen, and it wasn't available.
Yeah,
in this group.
Yeah, especially with the quarterbacks. But then you know what you see the trend now, where a lot of teams are playing three safeties. Pittsburgh did it this year. Ravens just drafted a guy they'll be able to do it. And the other teams that are trying to do it, because in order to match up against these tight ends, you need almost kind of like 2 or 3 types of safeties. You need a safety kind of like Hamilton that's big enough to play the run and not get pushed out of the way against Kelsey and all that, and then can run with them and then tackle, right? Like James was a couple years ago that went to the Los Angeles Chargers. Then you get a safety that can kind of do it all and come off the hash, which Hamilton can come off the hash, obviously, where like an Earl Thomas, right? That's a ball hawk. And then they have another safety that can maybe come down and cover in the slot and still gives you some size.
Well, then the high IQ safety, the play caller in the back who corrects everybody.
Like the Honey Badger that can just make up for a bad call.
Right.
Can be slippery and get around linemen, swipe a leg and make a tackle for loss in a big moment. So, you see, teams try to do stuff that works. And then, they don't think that what the Rams did isn't going to influence the rest of the league, where you look for an Eric Weddle type of field general back there, Von Miller type of pass rusher, trying to, you look at the guy that Green Bay drafted. If you look at the plays that he made, Wyatt, the defensive tackle, he's nowhere near Aaron Donald, but the one gap in a 3-4 blowing up through that,
especially mid NFC.
Yeah, NFC North in the black and blue.
That play is the play that they're going to face most often.
Right. So he blows it up, and then you got the athletic guy behind him, both from the same team, going along with the defensive guys that they've had before. And Green Bay did a really good job of actually signing free agents, a couple years ago, where, they had Preston Smith, the guy that they got from the Ravens, who's actually now on the Vikings. And then they got Gary from Michigan, right? Trimmed him down a little bit. Now he's a pretty good outside pass rusher. So they didn't have to go outside pass rusher, which would have been normally like Jermaine Johnson. They're able to go interior, and then they're able to go second level.
We also don't talk enough about the people who make these decisions in drafts and the personality profiles that they carry, because Jermaine Johnson sits on the board, whereas there's some decision makers who, well, wait a minute, I want the angry, nasty dude.
Yeah, it's like, weird. It's weird that, but see, here's also a problem. You got a lot of guys making these decisions. We talk about this all the time, like why the owners hire GMs or coaches that they like. You got a lot of these guys that have predetermined assumptions about, especially people that they've never been exposed to in a on an equal level, personal level.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Where you're going to have to be accountable to them.
Well, no, where you're going to have to conversate with them.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to get them, they haven't been in the foxhole with him, right? So, he's just like me. So they're getting thrown off by, you don't know Jermaine Johnson's like true background history, or they're trying to use the fact that, say, like, he had a couple, he went to JUCO, was trying really immature. He was a big kid, but you see a huge human like that coming out of high school. You think he's mature. He needed time to mature. Then he goes to Georgia, and then maybe they use that against. He didn't stick it out. Well, then really bet on himself and goes to Florida State. So then they're like, oh, well, you know, he has a different personality. No, he doesn't. You just didn't take time to
well, and you don't know how to go and find out what's happening in his community.
Or do you even really do they really want to even know, right? So you bypass on him, and that's how stuff you know, guys, you know, slip through the cracks, and then he'll end up, you know, doing well. And sometimes initially it's good to slip, but you know, hitting that, you know, slipping some spots can cost you a lot of money. I mean, look, you know, with Randy Gregory, it cost him a ton of money. He made it up now in his free agent deal, but now it's like he's on a year-to-year, game-by-game basis based on his off-the-field behavior versus when you come in, you kind of already have that nest egg or the huge, you know, golden pot or pot of gold. So it's interesting how they go about the decision-making, you know, like Pittsburgh. Like, I like Pickett, right? But you were enamored by Willis, and you already have Pickett in the building. You got Trubisky and you got Rudolph. And I mean, that's kind of right. That's
you like what you like,
right? But
you like what you like,
but you didn't like it enough to play it though.
Yeah,
that you had to bring Big Ben back that had no business playing the last 2 years and pay him $40 million.
I think that Pittsburgh quarterback room changes several times in the next couple of months.
Yeah, because you know, to be honest with you, you know, Dwayne Haskins was pushing these guys behind the scenes because he was starting to figure it out in that thing. So that's what really kind of was weird to me because Dwayne Haskins was doing so well in that culture. Now obviously he passed away, and then Willis it seemed like he was coming regardless. So, you know, but I think Pickett will be a guy that's gonna, if he doesn't end up starting right away, I think by like week 9 he'll end up starting, because I think what he does Pittsburgh needs. Now Pittsburgh needs some receivers though.
They need a lot. They need to figure out what the running game is going to be, because it's going to change in theory. Tomlin kind of whispered to, hey, there are going to be some schematic changes in what we do.
They got Najee Harris, who's,
you know,
rookie of the year, but their offensive line needs an upgrade.
But are they going to be willing to ride Najee? Like, are you going to
are you going to try to do like Alvin Kamara?
Right,
and that's not going to work.
Right.
That's not going to work in AFC Central.
So they're going to have to figure that out. To respond to the text line, Ella says, hey guys, I can't look it up myself. Can you refresh what time the NFL draft starts? So the only place in town to catch the draft is here on the ticket. Starts at 6:00 tonight. And it runs through. So instead of nighttime programming, you'll get the draft. Like, you guys can follow it. There's nowhere else in town. Go ahead and lock in. A couple other things. Sanderson says he thinks Jurgens to the Eagles at 51.
The Eagles already got a center.
Yeah, I thought. Well,
he's going. I know Houston really likes Cam. Really likes him.
Yeah,
really likes him.
It's interesting,
but it's just hard because the powers that be sometimes don't put the importance on drafting a center. But
there are
when they asked me, I
that
said that he can play all 3 interior positions easily.
There are teams that need that, and there are teams that look for that.
Now, when you do it, I don't know but if I'm Cam, though, do you really want to go to Houston?
No.
It's 2 ways. If I'm his agent or advisor, I'm like, yeah, you might not want to go initially, but this dude will be gone anyway. So by the time you get, just go ball, you'll be fine. In the worst case scenario, you'll end up going somewhere else.
Jay, I will let you answer this one. What up, DP? In the 4th round, do you think that JoJo could be drafted? And depending on where he goes, do you think that he could play as well as Luke Kuechly? I'll let you.
Who did that?
Thomas and Lincoln.
Man, get out of here, Thomas. Hey, that ain't no real text, man.
That is a real text.
I don't believe that.
That's why I gave it.
Fools, is it?
That's
This ain't even nothing against JoJo. I mean, Luke Kuechly, a dang Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I ran in Luke Kuechly in the Charlotte airport. Homeboy is like 185, but his head is he still got a big old head.
Yeah, he's got.
He has some issue. But let me tell you, Luke Kuechly, didn't realize how good he was, because you think like, oh, he's at Boston College. He's the only dude that can like walk and chew gum. So you're getting like 200. How do you have 200 tackles in like college? That's like impossible. Because I'm thinking like, oh, he out in the field the whole time. So he's just an effort guy.
He running through. He's running through landmines to get these 200 tackles.
He can pick up and put them down.
So no. The answer to that was
but you just never know. But JoJo could get in there and cut his teeth and get in the right situation and have a nice career.
I'm not.
But Luke Kuechly is most likely.
That
But
is
you never
deep
know.
Water. That is deep water.
Nobody ever realized Zach Thomas would be that dude either. But he was actually that dude in college, but never thought that he was going to come into the league and just take it by storm.
See, this is where I always I become curiouser and curiouser. If you are a high volume tackler in college, that transfers to the NFL.
Finding the ball is one. I'm going to tell you, one of the best advice I ever got was from a guy named John Holisek. He's the head coach. He played at Illinois with Simeon Rice and Kevin Hardy. And he was like, I was like the third wheel. And he's like, Jay, he's like, I was the white guy, so nobody kind of thought I was in. And he had an ACL injury and he came back, but he's from the South Side of Chicago. He's probably the toughest. Homeboy's fuse. I had a short fuse. Homeboy's fuse ain't even unmeasurable. He ready to fight at all times. And so the best advice that he gave me when I came in as a rookie, and I remember he was giving me a ride home from, mini camp, and I was just going to the hotel. And he was like, hey, man, you're a 5th round pick. I was a 5th round pick too. And this is the way, here's the way I, figured it out. And he's like, you got potential in this, and this. And he's like, look, the best thing that you can do, he's like, I know, he's like, they told me you can, get to the ball, but the best thing you can do is every single time that the play stop, be in that screen. Be there. And that's what guys that are high volume tackles, because they know how to get to the ball. They know they know the scheme. They know why they're doing stuff. They're playing faster than any measurables. And if they are good athletes, they're second level. Those guys can read and react, and they're football players. And tackling, if you're a high volume tackler, if you're a guy that makes plays, you're not missing tackles.
We're not talking about high volume hitters. We're talking about high volume tackles.
We ain't it ain't like Ram Man. They try to do run and bump each other.
Right.
Bump tackle. That ain't working.
I need to get you to the ground.
Yeah, we saw that against Wisconsin. You run up in there, try to bump, and you get bumped off, and homeboy cocks his head back and hits his head on the goalpost, and then they jumping around and all that crap. So when you could get to the ball and you can make plays, because no tackles. Unless you're in a scheme like when Ray Lewis had like Saragusa and Sam Adams in front, where you're just pretty much running and hitting, like tackles aren't pretty.
But think about how high level Ray was
at that's why
fitting in spaces
right
and making plays.
Right.
It's different.
It's different.
It's London Fletcher wasn't sexy, but he was always on time. London Fletcher was on time. Like if there was a play to be made within 6 yards to either side, at whatever level there was,
he was doing it.
London Fletcher, he'll get through a big dude, he'll get through a little dude, he'll get through between his two dudes.
Getting to the ball correctly and on time is a lost art. It's not taught enough at the high school level. It's not taught enough at the college level. And tackling isn't taught. Right? If you try to get too technical when you're tackling, or you don't emphasize tackling enough, you're going to be a bad tackling team, because it's never pretty.
Look, man, the best tackling teams I had were always, oddly enough, I had 3 dudes back-to-back years who ended up going to Naval Academy. All 165 pounds. All of them with 150 tackles in high school. Why? Mission. Them dudes like, no, I'm out here to tackle people.
Yeah.
Like, that's my job, to tackle people. They were never oversized.
Like the linebacker from Utah, when you watch his tape, his all 22 tape, he's a great athlete. In the leadership he has, where he was able to galvanize that whole team and make them hit benchmarks that they never thought they could get. But when you see him play, because he's a great athlete, and this is in my opinion, he's a great athlete. So when he's a great athlete and he has no wasted steps and he knows the game, you in trouble. And the thing is, like with him, when your DP was texting me about the Commanders, he can play in a 3-4 or a 4-3, and then he can play all the positions. So it's a guy that you're like, for him, if I'm the owner or I'm the GM, I'm picking him, because it doesn't matter who the defensive coordinator is. This is the guy that's going to be here.
For 10 years, he'll play several positions, and he'll play them all well.
Right. And you don't have to worry like, oh man, I just drafted this dude 2 years ago and I had to fire the coach. So do I keep the defensive coordinator? You don't do that.
Man, it's crazy. We'll go to break. We'll come back. NIL creates different discussions. Miami's Isaiah Wong said he'll enter the transfer portal tomorrow if his NIL compensation isn't increased. He says he got an agent and would like for his NIL to reflect that he was a leader. He was the leader of an Elite Eight team. We'll talk about that. We will talk about that when we come back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 330 North 48th Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Husker fans, continue to support the Nebraska softball team during Fan Appreciation Weekend, May 6th through the 8th. The team hosts Indiana in a 3-game series with giveaways each day. On Friday, the first 500 fans receive a water bottle. Come out Saturday and be one of the first 500 fans to receive a blanket. And on Sunday, if you're one of the first 500 fans, you'll get a pint glass. Saturday's game is also Senior Day and is free admission for everyone. For more information, visit Huskers.com. Get your single game tickets now at Huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's been a great start here to the year as 2022 new inventory continues to roll in. Our pre-owned lot remains full, and we are selling at a record pace. I was just down at Koppel talking about a new order for myself, and they let me know I can actually start ordering a 2023 here later this spring. So stop on in to get your new 2022, your pre-owned vehicle, or maybe talk about ordering here for 2023. Check them out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Tune in every Monday morning throughout the summer at 6:45 a.m. for golf course reviews on the Nebraska Golf Passport Early Break Golf Tour with Jake Sorensen and Steve Sipple on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental also has salaried jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Find great deals now on new Rams, Jeeps, and more during Ram Truck Month and the Jeep Celebration event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop our entire inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles anytime. At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Jay needs to get on the road, so we're going to let Jay get on the road. Mark Onweiler and I will talk about it and several points of discussion, because Mark can provide some different insights about how we process this stuff. So The story was that a player at the University of Miami notified, or his agent notified, the university that he would leave the program and jump in the transfer portal if, in fact, they did not increase his NIL deal. And, of course, folks are going to go into different directions about it. But, you know, you stupid. I found it interesting that a player had the moxie, or the agent had the moxie, to tell the University of Miami, hey, guess what? If you don't up my deal, I'm out. Because that's how it's going to go down now. And folks who aren't ready for it and who aren't prepared for it will be behind the deal. You will be behind the times, and you cannot be behind the times. Now, there are two things in play here. When fans say to me that, well, NIL is ruining college sports, let me correct you. Fans of programs who are not handling NIL right think it is ruining sports, college sports. You don't hear those things from the fan base at Alabama, Clemson, Duke, etc., because those programs are ahead of the game, and they have always been ahead of the game when it comes to how you deal with money and student athletes, especially elite student athletes. Now, Mark, I'll ask you, do you have any envy? Do you have any fan envy when you hear a player has just signed a big NIL deal?
I don't know if envy is the right word. I've got curiosity, I suppose, about, because Nebraska, for the most part, has been fairly tight-lipped about specifics with deals. The players have been fairly tight-lipped about specifics with deals, and I'm fine with that. I think. Are you? I don't need. I mean, especially from the player standpoint, I don't need to know your business. I don't need to know what's going into your pocket, what deals you're making. I really don't. But I am curious if other schools, other communities are handling it better than Nebraska and Lincoln are. Okay. I want to know why, and I want to know how to be better at it here.
Have you found that when a program goes tight-lipped, that good things are happening?
I mean, the results speak for themselves, I suppose.
Like, transparency is a thing.
Yeah. I don't mind tight-lipped when there's winning. You can close the doors when winning is happening.
Why would you be tight-lipped when things are going well,
I
when
know.
you're doing things
I understand
right?
that.
Right?
But you can, right? Like, and I'll be fine with it because good things are happening.
When things are the truth never needs to hide.
I hear you. Some folks just don't like talking, and that's fine.
Like,
but
who at any top Power 5 program is tight-lipped and quiet and doesn't like talking? That's not how they got the job.
Sure.
That's not why they got the job. So then to go against the very nature of it, to me, is pretty spectacular. It's a statement out loud that I don't want you to know what I'm doing or how I'm doing it. When the truth would be, hey, I'm proud of what I'm doing. I'm proud of how I'm doing it. I'm proud of the results. So this young man would say, hey, I feel like I deserve more than I'm getting. And the program has every right to say, no, you don't. Because nobody's coming to us for you, about you, right? If somebody comes to the door and says, hey, listen, I like this young man.
Mm-hmm.
I like this young lady. I want to take care of them. I want to make sure like they are the perfect example of what Miami athletics is all about, which is its own statement. Miami athletics has always been ahead of the game when it comes to how money is handled with student athletes, booster engagements.
Is that true for basketball too?
Yeah. But look, you don't get Leonard Hamilton in your program without having some people behind the scenes who push checks and open doors. Like you don't get Leonard Hamilton, and you don't get Larinaga. Like you don't get the people you got in that program. It's still Miami Athletics. The basketball program's placed within that. Remember, they were behind baseball and football at Miami. Like the baseball program always shows up in May and June.
They look good doing it too.
Right? Well,
I like their uniform.
Right? Again, somebody makes sure
I know.
that thing, those finances are taken care of. Listen, you're going to be on ESPN. You're going to be on national TV. I want you to look the part, right? And then when they have a big game at the University of Miami for football, guess what they make sure happens? That all the names and faces that we know and love are within camera shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's on purpose. You know why? Because the more the faces are seen and the more those voices are heard, the more money flows through the door. Like there is a way for this stuff to work. And people will make excuses for why it doesn't work, or they make excuses for why the resources don't show up in ways that make sense. But the reality is Nebraska has every resource. It has an abundance of alumni in powerful places. It has an abundance of big-name former players who could speak about the programs and elevate. And quite frankly, they're not using it. See, Hall of Fame players could help you generate money if you are willing to engage the Hall of Fame Husker on that level. Treat them as a Husker Hall of Famer so you could do Husker Hall of Fame business and stop asking Husker Hall of Famers to do down the street business, friends and family business. Mm-hmm. There's difference. So when we look at NIL, and I just want everything that's happening in NIL has always happened. There's nothing new. Zero of it is new.
But it just now became a thing. So I don't know what you're talking about.
No, it just became a transparency thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
See, because the bagmen existed back in 1970, 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010, 2020. Bagman existed. You can go through the history of the greatest programs and the greatest players and each of those programs. Ask Bo Jackson how much money showed up on his front porch, on that poor wooden broken front porch. How many bags of cash showed up. Ask him how many cars were left with keys in the ignition in poor neighborhoods in Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, Louisiana, California, Dade County, Miami, Florida.
It's always a good sign when your unit for cash is bags, not bills, not stack bags.
Right? I mean, because you know why? Because you can't track it.
Sure.
You can't track it. See, but through NIL, what you should be able to do now is you should be able to electronic payment everything for tracking purposes. But that's not happening either. It's not happening either, especially in the large volume cases. So when somebody announces, for every guy that announces $1 million deal, there's 25 dudes who got that same deal. And for everyone that's accepted, there's another 100 that were offered. Now, who's doing it? Why are they doing it? And then what happens when the answer is no? If you offer O'Shawn Mathis $500,000, are you the only one that offered him $500,000? Where did you get said $500,000? How will that transaction take place? Who will make sure that transaction takes place? Because all those things that you answer are people that are dealing with 60 other student athletes in that space talking about the very same money. And if you don't spend it on O'Shawn Mathis, what are you spending it on? Are you spending it? Who are you spending it on? Because I guarantee you, there aren't a whole lot of $500,000 dudes thinking about coming to Nebraska until you know that Nebraska is offering you $500,000 to do it. But think about the guys who only want $100,000. Are there 5 of them in play now? Is that what? So you chose O'Shawn Mathis over $500,000 guys when you need a bunch of $100,000 guys and a bunch of $50,000 guys and some $25,000 guys. The business of college athletics has always taken place. Now we have the playbook and we have the business plan. And when people share it, I have confidence in it. When they don't share it, it makes me wonder. What it'll force Miami to do is to respond in public, out loud, with their plan and their mantra. Nebraska tomorrow will get an answer from a kid from Texas who, through his very presence, changes the way Nebraska athletics will deal with NIL. He's the first one or the second one where we thought of where those sort of numbers are in play, which means those sort of numbers exist and they're available. But then you got to ask, do you pay one for $500,000 or do you get 10 at 50? And somebody is over there is making that decision. Pay attention, folks. Business just picked up. We'll throw the break. Come back. Old school. We got a guest. I'll introduce him. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's been a great start here to the year as 2022 new inventory continues to roll in. Our pre-owned lot remains full, and we are selling at a record pace. I was just down at Koppel talking about a new order for myself, and they let me know I can actually start ordering a 2023 here later this spring. So stop on in to get your new 2022, your pre-owned vehicle, or maybe talk about ordering here for 2023. Check them out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Let's go ahead and head right to the phone lines. Bob, what's up?
Hey, I'm here at the ballpark.
How are the elements? Is it nice outside?
Oh, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Wind's out of the north. It's not too windy. When I first got here, about a half hour ago. Yeah, strike two. Yeah, strike two. Put it down there, Steve. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I love it. Thank you, Bob. Bob, we're going to let you go, Bob.
All right. I'll be here.
Weekdays from 2 to 3 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental also has salaried jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
An Empire Fence is an investment in your home. This year, use your tax return to make that investment. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and security while improving the appearance of your home. Visit empire-fence.com to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home. With your tax return on the way, schedule your project now. Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence.
Tune in every Monday morning throughout the summer at 6:45 a.m. for golf course reviews on the Nebraska Golf Passport Early Break Golf Tour with Jake Sorensen and Steve Sipple on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If your home water doesn't taste right, look right, or smell right, just call Bryant for the solution to your water problem. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gums. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Join us at Cactus by Venue for our new America's Favorites menu.
We're keeping your favorite dips and tacos and adding brand new dishes, including delicious steaks, burgers, pastas, and more. Focusing on vibrant casual dining using a blend of fresh ingredients prepared from scratch. Located at 56 and Highway 2 in the Edgewood Shopping Center, see the whole menu online at cactusbyvenue.com and order yours to go at venuedelivered.com. Cactus by Venue, America's favorites.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Back to old school with DP and J.
Well, if you're feeling all right and you think you're on, somebody let me know. Will everybody in the place put a whistle in your face, screaming out and say, yo, yeah.
Somewhere back in Richmond, Virginia, in a college dorm at VCU, when this came on, we would open the door and everybody would stick their neck out into the hallway and the head bobs would happen.
The whole floor.
The entire floor would just light it up. That sort of energy just hit the room because another Hall of Famer is in the room. Let's bring in
I'm back.
Eric Strickland.
Oh.
Eric Strickland is in the house. Strick, what's up, baby?
What's going on, DP?
It's good to see you. It's good to see you.
Bellevue West finest right there. Right there. Look at it.
Just so you know, when you ain't here, he says he's Bellevue West finest.
It's true.
You're the only time when you hear is the only time he don't claim that as his own.
It's true.
So
well, listen,
me, Cluster, and Eric. We're Bellevue West finest. The three-headed monsters.
On the Mount Rushmore of Bellevue West. It's
it's us.
It's Cluster Strick.
It's a beautiful thing to see how far we've come,
right?
For what we've been able to build, and so I'm just excited that there's still some of us around. That still hanging around out here doing things. Good. Rico's doing wonderful things here at the station, and my buddy Cluster is doing wonderful in the he's in the not medical device, the specialty med stuff that he's doing there. I don't even know the full scope. I think he's CIA type.
We're gonna let people know what we do.
CIA type with his super athletic family.
Yeah, well done.
He was flexing a little bit on Twitter. He posted a picture with all their jerseys.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They represent. They did represent. I think one of the biggest, and it's not a disappointment because he's a tremendous young man. He's doing wonderful now, just working, and he's living his life. But I think one of the disappointments would have been CJ. The first one. Mm-hmm. He played with Josh Allen. He was Josh Allen's favorite. He got injured. He just really didn't want to play. And I think we did. We saw that. When we watched the kids, I pretty much with him, we're like cut from the same cloth. So I'm watching the kids and I'm saying, okay, CJ's probably the most gifted of them. But he didn't have the spunk. And then I knew Cade had probably the biggest chip on his shoulder because he was kind of the runt of the group. And he had to prove the most. But I said the one that's going to be the beast is going to be Keegan.
Yeah.
And he's showing and proving that's kind of just his mentality and the way that he approaches football. But the Tank 2 is on the way. Little Kai Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Tank 2.
Coming.
Big shoulders, broad, big head, thick, runs already. Yeah. Tank 2's on the way.
It's coming.
Tank 2's on the way.
It's good. I mean,
that family just produces crazy.
Well, Omaha, there are a lot of the Husker families where that's the case. And I just on a purely selfish level, I wish this next generation returned back to the fold. And that the bridge is built so that all the legacy kids from Omaha, not just the legacy kids from Lincoln, but the legacy kids from Omaha get invited into the Husker fold because the programs need them across the board. Those players are needed. So we had a quick segment here. We'll toward the break. We'll close out Old School with Strick, Rico, and then one-on-one. Strick, I know you got something at 10:30, but at 10 o'clock, at least for the first 15 minutes or so, I need you to hang around because Everett Gray's coming on, and we need to do this. We need to have that conversation.
Okay.
So we'll do that. We'll close out Old School when we come back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If your home water doesn't taste right, look right, or smell right, just call Bryant for the solution to your water problem. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Husker fans, your Nebraska softball team is competing for the 2022 Big Ten regular season title. There are 3 more chances to support your Huskers at home during Fan Appreciation Weekend, May 6th through the 8th. The team hosts Indiana in a 3-game series with giveaways each day. For more information on promotions, visit Huskers.com. Get your single game tickets now at Huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Join us at Cactus by Venue for our new America's Favorites menu. We're keeping your favorite dips and tacos and adding brand new dishes, including delicious steaks, burgers, pastas, and more. Focusing on vibrant casual dining using a blend of fresh ingredients prepared from scratch. Located at 56 and Highway 2 in the Edgewood Shopping Center, see the whole menu online at cactusbyvenue.com and order yours to go at venuedelivered.com. Cactus by Venue, America's Favorites.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
The Home Builders Association of Lincoln and Bombers Garage are proud to sponsor this year's Cruisin' for the Trades car show on May 1st. It's the first major car show of the season, and they have 20-plus big trophies for muscle cars, old cars, classics, trucks and bikes, EVs, and anything in between. Register your car today at hbal.org and enter into as many categories as you wish for the show at SCC's campus at 88th and O. Proceeds from the event go to the Lincoln Home Builders Care Foundation to support careers in construction. Register today at hbal.org.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Final segment of Old School before we jump over to one-on-one with Everett Gray. I'm looking forward to the Everett Gray and Eric Strickland conversation because that's two dogs from a different era, and they both know the game and they know athletics, they know sports, they know space. Let's get into it. Last night was a bit of an eye opener. 3 series down, 1 series left, 1 game tonight. What happens Memphis, Minnesota? Strick, what do you got?
I think Memphis, Minnesota was the one that we talked about on the block that would probably be the one most likely to go 7. Mm-hmm. I figured Dallas would close out Utah. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know how it would go. I knew it would go well. Let me say the Utah series, the Phoenix Suns series. Mm-hmm. I figured one thing I loved about it is I loved that Devin Booker did what some of the other softies didn't do. I.e. your Ben Simmons, even right now your jumping off the vert between your legs dunking, but you can't give your guys 10 minutes, 15 minutes. This guy has a hamstring, which is one of the toughest injuries outside of the Achilles or the calf to have to deal with. And he works his tail off. He gets back, gives them enough. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily what he did or does. It's the fact that he brings presence. And so the presence changes the whole dynamic of the way that they have to prepare for the Phoenix Suns.
And that was a superhuman performance by Chris Paul.
Facts.
Like that's the everything again with a down Booker. In an elimination game on the road. Pels have nothing to lose at all. They battle, they scrape, and yet Chris Paul leads them through the series.
14
and so
for 14.
14 for 14. But this was the Chris Paul we saw a couple of years ago against Golden State before he pulls the hammy. Mm-hmm. Right? This is what it was. Who do you pick tonight? Game 6 in Minnesota. Memphis, Minnesota. Who you got?
I think it's going to depend on it's basically going to go through dumb play of Minnesota. If Minnesota minimizes dumb plays, i.e. Anthony Edwards, which is a basic aspect of the basketball game, with that time left on it, you do not ever allow a guy direct line to the basket. It's always going out. Worst case scenario, jumper. Clap your hands if he hits it and go on to the next one. That's how, but you never give direct line. Or Big Cat and them just standing out there shooting threes up 20 and trying to make it 40. No, just freaking grind the game out.
One possession at a time.
23 turnovers. You've got 2 or 3 people in foul trouble and you're still shooting jumpers. I mean, it's dumb basketball. If they minimize that tonight, I think it goes 7.
That's good. Rico has had several opportunities.
It's impossible. All right. So you couldn't do it either.
So what we ask Rico every day is to go through the games and tell us, and we'll buy breakfast for him the next day if he can tell us who's going to be the leading scorer in all the games those nights. And Rico has
gone 0 for 6.
He's gone 0 for.
The very first time I would have won if Jalen Brunson didn't put up 41. Because I picked Donovan and he had 34.
So Rico,
Jalen Brunson's been breaking your bracket.
Yes, he has.
Killing.
There was a time when I said I'm stuck between Donovan and Jalen Brunson. I picked Donovan again. Jalen Brunson outscored by 2.
Mm-hmm. So tonight's easy because it's only one game. Rico, it's only one game.
I'm gonna get it wrong.
You only have to go 1 for 1. 1 for 1 is all that's required, Rico.
Well, I think Memphis is gonna win. Picking Ja Morant would be so easy. It's almost too easy,
right? It's just
so I can't do it.
Minnesota at home. Come on, Rico. Come on.
I'm gonna go Memphis with the win. Anthony Edwards leads the way.
Interesting.
Boy, John Moran is right there. He relocking up his braids for that.
John Morant listening to Old School right now.
Right. There you go. Punch Rico. Right.
Well, I've picked him a bunch of other times and he let me down, but it's fine.
All right, that'll be it for Old School. Don't go anywhere. 1-on-1, except we're gonna run the 2-on-1 drill with Everett Gray. UNLV running Rebels. Talk some hoops, some football. We'll talk about this draft. Everett's got plenty to say. And we'll do that next on 93.7 The Ticket. 1-on-1 coming up.